Alrighty then, welcome back to Just Carve Rob. And we've laid out a little guy here, piece of 2x2x6 basswood from Menards that has not been treating me very well. I learned a trick maybe today. Before you carve this here basswood, take it and put it in a Tupperware jar, a Tupperware thingy, with a wet paper towel, damp paper towel. Let it sit for a day or two so this wood absorbs some water back into it, because it's dry and very hard right now. But anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to go out to the bandsaw and we're going to cut this guy out. We're going to take this off, this off, this off, this off, this off, and then that leaves us with his, his feet, his legs, his middle, and his head, which we haven't decided what we're doing with that yet. So I'm going to go out to the bandsaw and take care of that, and I'll be right back, all right? All right. And there you have it, the basic rough out of this guy. It's a 6-inch block of wood. So we went 2, 2, and 2. Well, actually, this is probably a little less. 2 to the bottom side of the chin. Okay. And he's a blockhead. Looks like my saw's a little off on that cut, but that don't matter. And then we'll get into carving this thing. Bringing everything back. All right. All right. Hi, Spike. All right. Buckle up, Buttercup. Here it comes. An hour voiceover. Oh my, an hour voiceover. What am I going to talk about for an hour? Guess we'll just talk about this carving. So grab a beverage, grab a friend, and tune on in. And here we go. We got the 2.5-inch OCC carving knife. Excuse me. Most of this will be carved with a knife or some kind of sharp implement, knife, chisel. And, okay, so we're carving in towards the center to make the elbows stick out from the bolte. So you can see we're doing some chopping and dicing and slicing. Yep, just like the old Ginsu knife commercial. You can have this Ginsu knife that cuts through everything. But wait, that's not all. You also get this complete set of diamond L earrings. Okay, so I'm just showing you with that little square that we are tapering the front end towards the center line. Yep, see the angles? Now we're going to go around here. We're going to do a little undercut, give it a little shoulderage. We're not going to mount. For some reason, usually when I carve, I start with the head and then I work my way on down. Well, this time around, we went backwards. We saved that head for the very last thing to carve. Still using a 2.5-inch OCC knife. Chopping, chopping, chopping. Say hi to George Johnson over at Carving Fusion. Sean Brooks over at Pin on Fire. Haven't been seeing much out of Sean Brooks lately. And Jordy's always carving. Carving. That's why they call him Carving Fusion. Mr. Carving Fusion. Yep. So you can see we're cutting those arms in. They're going to be a little bit oversized. So we can come back. I should have made where the elbow bends and goes down into the pocket there. I should have made that a little bit wider, I think. But who cares? We're just making a dopey little guy here. Just the basic outline and how to get started. Because that was one of my biggest problems when I started was, how do I get that shape? Well, back her up to the beginning and you'll see how I get the shape nowadays. Learned it from Gene Messer, the godfather of flat plains carving. Has always done this little cutout thingy here whenever he starts his parts or his people. And he's got a playlist of a bazillion different types of people that he has carved and animals. Let's not forget the animals. Oh, throat is getting dry. I had to get something to drink. All right. So, see, we're just chopping that wood away. And this is why carving is so much fun and so relaxing. You just take a piece of wood, get an idea in your head, and carve away. Yep. Carve away. Still working that. It's gonna be a long drive to get those arms worked in there. Had to stop and strop our knife. You can see we're rounding the chest over there. Still working them arms in. I was originally going to put his hands in his pockets. And then I said, everybody puts their hands in their pockets. Just carve, Rob. You don't want to be like everybody, do you? No, I don't. I don't even want to be me. So, we're just going to go ahead and chop away here. Haven't decided, excuse me, whether this video is going to be out Sunday or Saturday. So, don't have a good day, have a great day. Here we go. All right, here we go. Oh, had to stop and start coughing. Had to stop and get a drink and cough. Yeah. And you can see we're whittling down the legs there. This can all be done with the Dremel, guys. If you don't have the hand strength or your hands hurt and you can still run a Dremel, then I believe the knife carving is a little more relaxing for me. So, but I'm showing you with the knife because it's slower and less dusty than using a Dremel. If you just want to rip through it, get a Dremel, get after it, get her done. But I believe that this shows a slower technique that you can just translate into Dremel carving. Yep. Got a chisel there. It's a flat chisel. Bought it last year at the flea market. Bought a set of 3 of them for like $10. Yeah. Believe me, they were nothing to behold. It took a lot of sharpening to get them to where I could use them. So I'm guessing whoever had them before they didn't use it for carving that much because they were pristine, right? There was no wear on the chisel, and you can tell it was a factory grind. So I had to go through and run through the 96 grits of paper that I got and all that good stuff. Now we got a micro flex cut V tool. Kind of digging in the waistband there, belt or whatever it's going to be. Haven't decided that either yet, but I figured, well, since we're here, might as well put it in. Right where the pants hits the back. Yep. And now you can see we're trying to separate them legs. Got that flat chisel working his crack in the back. I did split the legs with the bandsaw, so all I got to do is kind of remove that wood. I probably could have just taken a drill and when it was still a square block and put it on the drill press and drilled me some holes to separate the legs. But I really don't think that far ahead into a carving. You know, it just is what it's going to be. It just does what it's going to do. And that's probably why I'm not a very good carver, right? Because I don't plan things out that well. I just kind of go with it. And when it aggravates me, I walk away from it. Yes, I do that a lot. So you can see we got the crack opened up between his legs. You can see through now. And now we're working on his buttocks, the back side of his front. Getting that behind shaped in there. Cleaning up that belt or whatever it's going to be. Gun belt. Whatever. Some kind of a thing there. And that's the way I work. As I go through and I carve, I kind of got an idea of what I want to do, but not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I just kind of let it turn out to be what it's going to be. Sometimes it'd be good, sometimes it'd be bad. Every carving is not a masterpiece, friends. Believe me. Okay, this is where I decided, well, we did a cowboy bottle topper. So we might as well do a whole cowboy. After watching Amy Jo over there at Amy Jo's YouTube channel, she did a cowboy on a serving tray. And after seeing that, I decided, well, I have got to carve a cowboy. I'm just an old cowhand from the Rio Grande. Yep, so that's what we're doing. We decided we're going to carve a cowboy. Right now, he kind of looks like one of them Lego guys. One of them old-timey hats, you know. Golf hat. Is that what they're called? Golf hat. And we're going to work that down on both sides. Right to the note. Right to the center line there. The center line lets us know we're on an even plane. As far as our angles go, it's all eyeball. Not using any space-age tooling to throw it, make sure it's exactly at the same angle. We could put it in the milling machine and do that, but that's not the idea behind this. The idea behind this is relaxation. Yep. Get our minds off the problems that run through our brains. That's why I do it. Have to battle. The battle of the therapy for my bipolar situation I got. You can see we're working that back. Keep getting that angle. We got to push that face back up underneath that hat. So I'm going to do a little rounding here. Stop cut up along the top. Still using that, I believe it's the 2.5 inch OCC knife. If I could see the handle, I could tell you for sure. But it's either the OCC knife or the flex cut knife. Nope, that's definitely the OC knife. I can tell by the point of the knife. The flex cut knife comes down to a sharper point. It's a thicker blade. That's one thing I can say about the OCC knives. The thin blade. I love the thin blade because it slides through the wood so nice. Now we got to put the little thing where your head goes in there on the hat. See, I told you it's going to be a cowboy. But it does, don't it? It kind of looks like one of them old-timey hats right now. Like Doug Linker wears. He's always wearing one of them. I don't know what the name of it is. Kind of reminds me of like the old movies where the guys driving the old Model T cars. They always wore them hats like that. Just kind of look like a blob of hat sitting on your head. I want to call them golf hats. I always see people golfing wearing them hats. I'm too good to wear a trucker baseball style hat. Yes, I must wear this fancy floofy hat here. The floofy hat. There's a new name for it, the floofy hat. You can see we started angling that forehead back. And we're continuing to work that face. We're going to work it back to where we get it under the hat. Only problem with carving the face under a cowboy hat is the cowboy hat, right? Because it sticks so far out, getting in there to do the eyes is a pain in the behind. It is. That's why I do not show you doing the eyes, because I have to put on my magnifying glasses because I'm getting to be as blind as a bat in my old age. So yeah. Now I'm drawing the lines on the part of the hat where your head goes in. See how they line up? I got that 2.5-inch OCC knife. Chopping. Keep your fingers out of the way. These knives will remove them. Now we got to cut that down. There we go. I just went to the bandsaw and did it. Roughed it out on the bandsaw and then came back and cleaned it up with a knife. Now you can see we're still working that face down, keeping the point in the center. I'm sure you guys didn't want to go through the pain of watching that hat being carved, because believe me, it was a pain. Okay, so now we're forcing that forehead back. Now at this point, can go either way, cowboy or Farmer Joe. We could put coveralls on him and a piece of grass sticking out of his mouth and all kinds of that stuff like that. We could, but we didn't. I had really thought about it there for a second, turn him into a farmer. It would have been so easy, would have sped this carving up so much. But no. It took me 2 weeks to carve this guy, which translates into about 7 hours. Yeah, I know. 7 hours is ridiculous, right? To carve one little guy. I was going to do an eye video on how I carve eyes. Believe me, it's probably not the proper or correct way to carve eyes, but it's just how I do it. But I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know if you want to see how I carve eyes. I got some wood in from Amazon. Different dealer this time. Different wood dealer. It's looking pretty good. It's a little bit hard. But that's why we carve hardwood, is because it holds good detail. Tight grain, right? If I try carving a cedar guy this big, it would be real hard to put eyes in it, because all I get around here is western red cedar, or Jordy calls it hedge cedar. It's like it was a plant that went bananas, a hedge. Okay, so now you can see where I'm starting to put his eyes in. We got his nose partially cut in. Doing a scoop cut from the nose outward. See that scoop cut? Instead of having a sharp edge there on the nose, alongside the nose, just do that little scoop cut. You kind of put the point of the knife in where the corner of your eye is going to be. And you just do that swoop right out of there. But not as easy as it looks. It takes a little practice. I've got an old piece of wood that for a day or two I just sit around and put noses on it. Put noses on it. That's why I said we could do eyes, because I got a bunch of noses. We could do an eye video because I got a bunch of noses laying around doing nothing. They need eyes. Now we've got a gouge. And why did I go with that gouge? I don't know, but I did. Probably so it doesn't leave a rough cut. Putting some cheeks in, that's what I'm doing. You can see right there under his nose. Kind of digging in there to give him some hollowed cheeks. You can see we bought that wood right down to a point in the middle for the face, and then we'll just chop it off, and then we can make our chin as wide as we want to. Round over the bottom of the chin, like that. And right there, we could just leave that all hair going all the way around the back, and it would be lovely. But did I do that? No. Why? Because I'm not that smart. Cut up under that hat. I don't want to cut on too much of an angle, because why? Because I'm going to put ears in it. Yeah. Why? Why the ears? The ears are so hard. They are. They're a pain. But all the cowboy, all the cowboy carving videos I watched, they got big ears. So we might as well give them big ears. You can see we're cutting the spot for the eyes in. Now, there again, guys, you don't have to carve these eyes in. You just do what I'm doing here. And you can go back and just paint them in. They look just as good if they're painted in. I mean, from the side, they look a little flat, but you can just paint them in. No biggie. Why do I torture myself like that? Okay, so we're narrowing the forehead, or the side where your temples are. You're going to bring them in. Now, look how fat his head is, and look how small that little bump is on top that your head goes into. So, to make this look kind of right, I got to keep forcing that head back, that forehead back, so it looks like the hat is sitting, the head is up in the hat instead of the hat sitting on the head. So, that's my problem. With these little blocks of wood, I should just be carving the hat separately and plunking it on there. Because otherwise the head and everything gets, really small. And now I'm taking a 3-way cutout by the corner of the nose. And scooping that up. Scoop it up, scoop it up. There we go. Round over the edges of the nose. Yep. Cutting them eyes in a little bit. Man, this guy's camera work really sucks. And I keep cleaning up under that hat because I want to force that hat back. Or not the hat, the head back. Keep moving it back. And we got plenty of wood here. Even if I made a mistake and had to slab off the whole nose and eye area, we'd still have plenty of wood left to make a whole nother face. It's kind of looking like Bigfoot Cowboy right now, isn't it? Amy Jo, Bigfoot Cowboy. Okay, so now I'm cutting in where your nostrils are going to be. Just doing a little swoop cut there. Working them eyes in. Like that. See how there we go, I zoomed in for you. See how flat that cut is? It is going back on an angle, but I used to cut straight in, and it made it harder for me to do eyes. So now I just kind of make that cut kind of flatter where the eyes are, so that when you go to cut them in, it makes it a little easier. You don't got to dig way in there with a knife. And there we go. Still digging out under that hat. It's like that. Pushing that wood up in there. We're going to end up taking a lot of that off. Lots and lots of that off there. Doing the hollows of the cheek a little bit. And this would have been a lot faster with the Dremel and the micromotor. Maybe the next one we'll do all Dremel. No knives at all. Look who you're talking to. I doubt it. Always got to get a knife in there for some reason. Oh, that's terrible. Terrible camera work, Rob. Yep. See, we're using that that curved gouge. And please don't ask me what the number of the gouge is. I have no idea. I'm not really a gouge chisel guy. I mean, I am. I like using them. But as far as knowing the this and the that of it, that's not me. I just find one that I think is going to work for me, and I use it. Okay, we're swooping that cut up to that nose. And I'm thinking to myself, if you're going to put a mustache on this guy, you better do it pretty quick, Rob, or otherwise you're not going to have any mustache. Now, this will also tell you how good the angles of your face are matching. You can see mine aren't matching that good. So we'll get that all straightened out. And there's what he's looking like. We got the micro motor with a flame diamond burr. I'm trying to get that hair pushed up underneath the hat. And there's an ear right there. I must have not recorded that, putting ears on this guy. Sorry about that. But here he is. This is what he's looking like. Doing a little undercutting of the cheek, the chin. Bringing the chin up to the ear. The jawbone comes, if you feel your own jawbone, it comes up to right somewhere's in the middle of your earlobe. So that's kind of, his ears could have went back a little bit more, I think. But it looks okay. It says it's an ear. And then we'll round over them jawbones up to the lobe of the ear. And then from the bottom of my lobe, see, there's a hair going from the bottom of the lobe of the ear back. Real hair, I don't think grows like that. It goes behind the ear. But this is what this is what I'm going with here. Right, wrong, or indifferent. My guy. Do what I want. That's right. You do what you want. I'll do what I want. And we'll all get along fine. Right. Okay. So, do you have any new dad jokes, Rob? Well, I do, but I can't remember them. Because my memory is lasting about as long as a fart in a windstorm anymore. So, if I happen to think of one, I'll throw it in here. Because, like, we only got an hour, right? We only got an hour to do a voiceover. Hey, probably the longest voiceover I've ever done on a carving. Because YouTube says, keep your videos down to 15 minutes. Well, I could have done a multi-stage video on this. Okay, so now we got a Cuts All Extreme Fine Taper Burr Gold. Okay. And I'm trying to get all the knife marks out from underneath the hat because there is a bunch of them. A bunch of knife marks under that hat. So we're just going to smooth that out a little bit. Round over the edge of the hat. Because cowboy hats do not have square edges. And you can see how I rocked the hat back and folded it down. I kind of wanted this cowboy hat to flip flat in the front. Then you don't got to do no eyes at all. If you bend the front of your hat down, like Charlie Daniels. Yeah. If you guys know who Charlie Daniels is, he's the one guy that sang The Devil Went Down to Georgia. His hat, he always had, his cowboy hat doesn't have a bent up brim on it. It's kind of flat and folds down in the front. That's the way I like wearing my cowboy hats too. That way it keeps the sun out of your face. And we're going to round over that little cube, that little sugar cube on top of his head there. And as we're doing that, we can also push it in deeper, which will give it a broader base, which will look like it fits our head better. It's an optical conclusion. Yes, it is. Man, I should be out shooting my air rifle today. It's a gorgeous day. It's supposed to rain for the next 3 days. So, those of you that are watching this video in the future will be like, what is he talking about? It's the middle of winter. Okay, so see, we cut the back out between the shoulders. And we're going to bring those arms down. We're going to call, I can't really call him a spaghetti cowboy, but I'm going to do one. They got the really, really skinny arms, the really skinny legs, and like a big round belly. Okay, so we got the Dremel 4000. Cuts All Extreme Flame Taper Burr, Extreme Flame Burr. And I'm just going to outline, this video is so long. I mean, the video itself, when I went to edit it, was like 6 hours. So we have to cut 6 hours down. I might cut it into a 20-minute video because I know people don't like multi-part videos. They just don't do well on YouTube for me. Okay, look at that. We got a new set of flex cut chisels over there. I think they were like 80 bucks for 5 chisels. But I don't have them. I've got the micros. I've enjoyed the micros. We're using the Beavercraft 1.5 inch. What do you call it, knife there? With a just carved rob handle. I think this is their detail knife. Steel is not bad on this knife, but the angle of the steel, in my opinion, this is just my opinion now, which don't mean too much. My opinion, and 10 bucks will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Okay. Playing around with one of them. That's a skew. That's a skew. Cuts all. Not cuts all. Blah, 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 blah. Wake up, Rob. Drink your coffee. Okay. That's a skew from Flex Cut out of that kit. And see how thin that blade is? Man, that's nice. That slice is nice. So nice. Okay. Now, where was I with that? Oh, that Beavercraft knife. My opinion, my humble opinion, is that handle that it comes with, no bueno. Okay? And the angle of the blade, for me, because I'm used to my OCC knives, and even the Flex Cut has a steeper angle on it. No bueno. So you see what I've done to that knife. I've changed the handle out, and I reground the blade on it so that it is very bueno. But still, thicker than my Flex Cut or my OCC knife. Now we're working on his little hands, and we're just cutting his fingers in. We cut his fingers in and hope we don't cut ours off. Yep. Say hi to Timothy Reed and Spike and Neil Freeman and all you guys that have been big supporters of the channel. I appreciate it so much. Our channel has hit a dead spot. Boop. We gained no more subscribers. We've lost a few, but have gained no more. Probably because I'm not consistent with videos. Yep, there's that Beavercraft knife again. Oh, there's a tiny Flex Cut knife. Back to the OCC 2.5 inch knife. You see me keep going back to this OCC knife just because of the thinness of the blade. Slices through this wood ever so nicely. And I can only imagine that if this blade works that good, the thin OCC blade, how great would a Helvey knife be? I don't know. I don't have any. Every time I look at them, they're out of stock. So that is what it is. We just keep doing what we do with what we got. Now we're cutting the belt over and back. Cutting the cuff, his shirt cuff in. Cowboys never wore short sleeves. I don't know why. You always see them dressed up in like a 3-piece suit, right? Them cowboys. Man, that must have been one stinky place in the Old West because you know they had to be sweating to death. Okay, so, and you know they didn't have no Old Spice back then. You had soap, water, and sweat. Horse sweat, people sweat, cow sweat. Cowboys are going to smell like all them critters. Okay. So you can see we're working that hand in. Just getting everything rounded over. Using that skew. I think that's what they call it. And cutting that hand in. Yep, I decided to put hands on him instead of tucking them in his pocket. Figured I'd have, like, you know how the old cowboys, they always hook their thumb over their gun belt, had their hands sticking out. So that's what we did here. And now I'm taking all the fingers in the front and curling them over, right? So it looks like he kind of got his thumb in his belt and he's kind of grabbing the belt or something like that. You can see what's going on there. Now we got to go back and recut in all the fingers. I'm using that little tiny flex cut knife again. Another one of my, I reground the end on it so it comes down to like a pointy point. And I like using this knife for doing eyes and stuff because it's got such a, the blade is so thin, it allows you to turn the knife in the wood better. Okay, so now I got a little file. I'm filing in between his fingers. Why are you getting so technical, Rob? Now, okay, we're going to cut one of his holsters in. He's got two. He's a two-gunner, man. He likes using two guns. He must be like me, ambidextrous. He can draw from either side. Whatcha! Right? Really digging this skew. Really liking it. Good and sharp. And they send you, the bigger sets of chisels you buy, the bigger the Band-Aids they send you with them. The little micro set, you know, they sent me like a normal Band-Aid. A little box of little Band-Aids to go with it. With the bigger set, they sent me bigger Band-Aids. What's that trying to tell you? You're going to get a bigger boo-boo. The next set I ordered, they're probably just going to send me some anesthesia and a needle and thread. You're going to cut yourself with this. There ain't no Band-Aid in the world going to help you, just Bob. You're going to have to do some sewing. Okay, so Ben over at Studio on Lake. Ben, what you been doing, Ben? Haven't seen Ben around forever. Or Sticks and Stones. Kevin over at Sticks and Stones, yeah. Larry Dibb over at Wowzy's Workshop. You can see there's lots of cuts going on here. Okay. So we're going to make his one foot, his right foot, look like he's walking a little bit. Kind of got his leg will be up. Probably going to have to put his foot on like a cow patty or something. You know, make it look like he's stepping on a cow patty. Maybe a horse, a road apple, a horse apple. And I don't know. Maybe we'll create a scene with this guy, you know, like he's walking over to his old horse, Thunder. And, yeah, I don't know yet. I might have to make a series out of this, the cowboy thing. Probably should have given some of them leather chaps, you know, with the little furly things hanging off of them. But we didn't do that, so. It is what it is. Cleaning up the belt area here. Now we're going to try making them arms match. So we got out the big OCC 2.5-inch knife here. I really enjoy the 2.5-inch knife. Okay, now we're going to clean up the back down to the belt without slicing that belt off. Believe me, it'd be very easy to do. This wood is fighting me. The grain of the wood is fighting with me. It don't want to cooperate. Okay, so we dig that down. We're going to put the old time sheriff. He's going to be the old sheriff, right? We're going to put a badge on him and one of them, what do you call it? Vest. Yeah, the old cow vest. Yeah, they always wore vests in the old West too, you know. It's like, well, I don't know if they did. I wasn't there. I'm just going by cowboy movies. Historical relics of cowboy movies. The historical event history of the cowboy via the John Wayne movies. Yeah. That's what we're going with. John Wayne and Sam Elliott. I should have gave him a knife too, but I didn't. Okay. We're going to shape them, get them shoulders shaped up there a little bit. Chop, 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 chop. Like that. Oh, this guy with camera work needs to be replaced. Okay, we're going to cut some pleats, not pleats, wrinkles into his shirt there, right at the elbow, like that. And we're going to put a cup on this side. Here we go. We're going to cut that in. Don't slip, Rob. Don't slip. And then we'll cut down to the cup. Get rid of some of that wood out of there. Little chip cuts going on. We'll walk it around. And bada boom, poof, there you go. The sleeve has been delineated from the shirt. Or the shirt, the cup. The cup has been delineated from the shirt. Yes. And we're going to walk that elbow up a little bit so we can tuck that belt buckle, that belt. And then we got that short one we're cleaning up. There you go. 3-way chip cut to make the belt look like it's tight around him. 3-way chip cut on that side. Same reason. 3, chip, pop. Okay. And again. Do it again. Now we're going to round the belt over so it looks like it goes under his arm. We're hiding it. Hidey-ho. There we go. Same thing going on over there. Get that. Didn't want to come out. A little splinter did not want to come out. Round over that elbow. So you don't got no pointy elbows. Down to the cuff of the shirt. And we'll do the same thing here. Take out a little bit of that wood there to make it look like that belt is going under the shirt. And remember, you don't got to make these elbows the same height in the same place. And because, you know, people are not, how do I want to put it? People are not, I don't think stagnant is the right word. Stationary, maybe. They're always moving. So, see how I'm moving that knee outward on there? Okay, so now we're putting the his leather band around his hat. It keeps the hat from doing the hillbilly thing, you know, turned into a cone on top of his head. This would have made a pretty cool hillbilly too. So we could have made a hillbilly. We could have made a farmer. We could have. We got the V tool out of that new kit. And we're cutting in that band. Terrible, Rob. Terrible. Nobody can see what you're doing. Well, I just told you what we're doing. And that's what we're doing. We're cutting in the band around the top of the hat, and then we'll come back with a knife and clean it up down to that band. And then we'll wood burn everything, so everything will really stand out. See, we're working that, just working that down to where we took the V tool. Now we got that little skew. It's been working well. The skew is kind of like a knife straight in, because you can slide it. For these little tight areas where you don't want to get a lot of blade in there, you need a lot of control. That little palm thing in your hand, oh, so nice. So very, very nice. And Flex Cut is a pretty well-known brand. They work really well. You could probably get chisels a lot cheaper on Amazon, but I've learned with carving tools, I have bought cheap carving tools, and that's what they ended up being, was cheap carving tools. So anymore, I just kind of save up my cans, because in Michigan, cans are 10 cents. There's a 10-cent deposit on them. So I just go around, pick up cans. If I see one along the road, I throw it in my truck toolbox. And when the truck toolbox gets full, that's about $15 worth of cans. I go cash them in. I take that $15 and I throw it in my another can, a plastic can, a piggy bank, you might say. And when I hit the number that I'm looking for, yeah, I can buy a tool. So now we're cutting a vest in. The best vest of the West. You can see we got his little badge on his shirt there. And I'm kind of looping it up around his neck. And we'll put a buttoned up shirt. Why do they call it button down? Isn't it buttoned up where you button it all the way up to your throat? I can't stand them shirts. But so he's got a button up, button down shirt, whatever you want to call it, that I'm putting on him. And slicing that jacket in, his vest. And we're working that his shirt. We're working his little shirt in there. And you can see how that's making the vest stick out using that 2.5-inch OCC carving tool. And there he is. Okay, so now we have burnt him, did the wood burning, and now the hardest part of it all, carving the old cowboy boots. Now this has become, okay, we got the Bauer cordless rotary tool with a flame diamond burr in there. And what I was going to say is these boots have been more of a pain than anything because of where it bends there, the wood grain changes. So you always ended up with little cut chips hanging on there. So I figured I'd just take this here tool and run around and clean it up. Yep. And that's what I did. So then I decided, well, I need a bigger diamond because the little diamond was leaving dimple marks. So we got a bigger diamond and threw it in the micromotor just because it's quicker to change the burr than it is to try changing it in the Bauer or the Dremel. That's why if you can do it, it's nice to have what your most popular tools you use, to have them set up in a Dremel or rotary or whatever all the time, because then you can just jump from one to the other. I put the pants inside the boots, so it leaves them bunched up at the top, and that's what we're doing there. We're putting that little gathering of pants at the top of the boot. You should have seen these boots before. They look more like the old duck boots. I think Jordy calls them gum boots. Gum boots. Okay, I'll smooth his butt off. You can see we put some wrinkles in his vest in the back. And doing his gooch. Doing the gooch. And sanding and wire brushing. And there he is. Get some of that char from the wood burner off of him. Now we got the wood burner out. This is a razor tip wood burner. Scraping the carbon off of the blade, or the burning tip there. And we'll just burn around and burn around. Like that. And we'll do the soles of the boots. And this, I like doing the wood burning because it burns out a lot of the fuzzies that I can't get with the knife. And I don't want to use sandpaper. So I just use the wood burner as my instrument of fuzzy removal. Because you can turn this down pretty low. I can turn it down low enough where the wood fuzzies kind of look like they melt when you wood burn them. And we got to be coming to the end here pretty quick because we're on the feet. You know, when you hit the feet, it's time to move because they're ready to go. And you can see this foot here is kind of tilted. The toe is tilted down. The heel is up. And that's so it makes it look like he's walking or getting ready to take a step or something. We'll go with or something. And put the little things on the ends of his boots because that's what cowboy boots have. You know, here we go again with the old Western cowboy boots. Yep. Okay, so you can see we got the hands, we got the belt buckle. We're going to buff his boots with our wire brush. brass wire brush. I don't think it matters. I just have a brass one. And that's it, folks. There he is. He's all done. And we will catch you on the next one. Share, subscribe, and like. Be awesome. Carve something awesome. Carve every day if you can. And we will catch you on the next one. All right? All right. You like the cowboy, Claire? See you later. Bye-bye.